Welcome back to the Bettors on one final time this week. We are doing our thing, full slate breakdown for both the NBA and the MLB. There are some interesting games on the MLB slate. So, full disclaimer: I'm not betting NBA anymore. I will sit out these last few days of the regular season. I'm usually sticking to series bets in the playoffs. That will be a thing. We will break down the playoff series, but these last few days are really about just how teams can rest their stars even more than they did so far, and there will be some tricky moves for the seeding. So I wouldn't bet if I were you, but we will break down all the games as always. So first game on the board, Cleveland Cavaliers at the Washington Wizards, 7.5 point spread. Wizards are one game back from the ninth seed. All the seeds are important in the play-in tournament, so everyone is fighting for home court or for them just having to win one of the two games, like the 7 and the 8 seed. So the Wizards are still fighting. Beal is sadly still out, but I think the recent performance of the team still has been pretty good. Cleveland 1-9 in the last 10. They are just one loss out of the bottom four positions, which is pretty important. So they will try to lose this game actively. Nancy's out, Garland questionable, multiple backups questionable. I think Garland will be kept out of this game. There is no reason why they should make him play. I make it 7.5, so no edge. In my opinion, but if you need a game that's a total lock, I think Washington is one of these. There are a couple of huge spreads on this slate, as you can see. 4 teams laying more than 10 points, but in this case, I think this is likely a number that gets covered by the Wizards. Denver Nuggets at the Detroit Pistons, 9.5 point spread. Pretty similar situation. But the Nuggets can be a tricky team to back in the last few games. So everyone tries not to play the Lakers in the first round. And currently, I think the third seed, which is the Clippers, is scheduled to play them. But you will see a lot of mind games between the Clippers and the Denver in the last few games. So it really looks like Denver can decide with the final game who they want to play. But you don't really know. I think laying almost 10 points would be a bit foolish. Detroit on extra rest at home. Denver playing third game in 4 nights back to back. Although everyone played pretty low minutes last night, and they also rested MPJ, who should be back for tonight's game. Detroit is in the tank. It really just depends on. How they wake up this morning, if they want to lose by 20 or if they want to lose by 8. I wouldn't be involved with this game. Utah at OKC, 13.5 point spread. Big news for the Jazz. Conley upgraded to questionable. We know that Mitchell won't be coming back for the rest of the regular season. He has been already announced out. Likely coming back for the first game of the playoffs, but that's not even a lock right now. It's not looking good. I mean, just getting back into rhythm through the playoffs, although they have likely an easy first round, but it's still quite risky. Although the Jazz aren't the only team in this situation. So yeah, I make this spread 16 with both teams fully healthy. Obviously, no Mitchell for the Jazz. OKC without Dort, SGA, Muscala. OKC lost 8 straight games, I think 18 or 19 out of the last 20. This is the organization that's tanking the most out of all teams. Utah will win, can likely name their score, although we've seen them getting a bit, running out of gas a bit without Conley and Mitchell in the last few games. Some role players have been just under way too much pressure to score without these two guys. But I think this is an opponent the Jazz should easily solve. Orlando Magic at the Philadelphia 76ers, 13.5 point spread. Yeah, so the Philly Sixers can lock up the first seed with one win in the last two games, and they face Orlando twice in a row. This is a third game in 4 nights and a back-to-back for Philly, but they played pretty low minutes last night. My guess would be that this is the game Philly wants to win. They played like 20 to 25 minutes last night for most players besides Harris, who played 30. So yeah, they will try to win this game, and then they can rest and beat in the final game of the season. I think that's the goal. Magic also played last night, minutes in the low 20s. They lost by a billion again. I would think this is a really easy blowout W for Philly, but you cannot really lane 13 and a half points in the tail end of a back to back. But I'm sure they will want to give themselves another shot in the second all end the game. If something goes horribly wrong here and they cannot lock up the first seed, they will be able to do that in the second game. LA Clippers at Houston, 11.5 point spread. Tyler already said that some of the Clippers guys will rest here. I think this spread kind of factors that in. A fully healthy line would be 10.5 in my opinion here. Houston, obviously, with tons of injuries, Wolf, Porter, House, Gordon, basically everyone out. I think this line is kind of fair if we see both Kawhi and Paul George sitting. Otherwise, it's kind of low. But again, you don't want to get involved with this game. The Clippers might want to give up that third seed. We don't know how these teams will think and just play around with these couple of games left on both of Denver's and the LA schedule. But yeah, I think 11.5 kind of expects the Clippers starts to sit, as Houston is really just putting out a lineup that's not an NBA level lineup right now. Sacramento at Memphis, rematch from last night. Although the spot is pretty bad for Memphis, I think this is their fourth game in 5 nights, which is pretty unique in the NBA. You rarely see two back-to-back sets with just one game off between them. So from a scheduling perspective, I think this is a pretty bad spot for the Grizzlies. They didn't cover last night, but it closed 8.5. We did bet them at 6.5, so I was kind of pissed off. Nice line move. Extra info here that Buddy Hield could sit here. He did play last night, if I'm correct, but he was expected to sit out one end of the back to back. So yeah, basically the Kings could be without Bagley, Barnes, Fox, Halliburton, and Hield. So yeah, that's pretty ugly. Already the lineup they put out, like Matthew Harkless, Holmes, Wright. Someone called Justin James scored 31 points last night. Insane. So yeah, don't get involved with this spot. I think these back-to-backs are pretty easy for books to line. They just reopened last night's closing line. You won't find value, especially with Memphis playing fourth game in 5 nights. That's a pretty rough spot. Could be a close one, despite Memphis being the way better lineup currently. Toronto, Dallas, 13.5 point spread. Yeah, one of these ugly ones. The Raptors are really trying to put out the worst lineup possible in the NBA. Again, third game in 4 nights, back to back for them. Lowry, Siakam, Fred, OG Anunoby, Hood all out. This is an 10-point correction from where my line would be. Yesterday we've seen an 11-point from where I would have lined that. Yeah, that's just how it goes. You don't want to lay it with Dallas, but Dallas needs all the W's they can get. I don't think they will play games. I think this will be a blowout win. But last night's Toronto lineup was Harris, Flynn, Birch, Watanabe, and Johnson. That's not an NBA team. So you cannot get involved with this game really. New Orleans Pelicans, Golden State Warriors, 5.5 point spread. Golden State coming in on extra as they own the tiebreaker with Memphis for the 8th seed. So if they just hold the same record, they will get home court. Curry, Green, Wiggins, all questionable for this game. I'm not sure what's the deal there. They don't have a game tomorrow. They need the wins. I think they will make everyone play here. Pelicans without Zion, Ball, Hart, and Ingram and Adams are both questionable. They are already officially eliminated. I don't think they will play either of those guys. We could maybe see value on Golden State here if everyone is playing. I tell you that. I didn't get involved, but I think this really looks like another one of these blowout games. And if you look at the board, this is the shortest spread, and I don't understand why it should be. I mean, obviously because of the questionables, but I think everyone will play. And if everyone plays, this will be really short. So if you have like a cash out book, maybe like Bet365, you should just maybe sit on this Golden State line -5.5, and yeah, if everyone is in, then you have a great ticket. If not, then you can cash it out. This is maybe the only game I would be probably involved with. Yeah, I just don't. I think Washington covers, but all the other spreads. Memphis is in a really bad spot, and everything is basically at 10 points or higher, and that's not something you should want to lay at this point in the season. So yeah, maybe follow this Golden State game. I think this could be interesting if we see Curry and everyone else playing. Alrighty, switching to baseball. I'm putting up the odds screen and we will get right into it. Pretty big slate, but lots of action. I kind of like the card again. Didn't have too many bets yesterday, but I think this could be a better card. So first game, this is the most interesting game. This is the game you should run and bet right now. San Francisco Giants at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gaussman, and yes, this is not Ty Anderson. Ty Anderson got officially pushed back. It was tweeted out by a beat writer just a few hours ago, and Pinnacle still didn't move on that. We've bet into this one, San Francisco -141. Line already moved a lot, but you can still find the lines like on Bet Online -144, find 5 dimes -143. Those are all bets, and you should bet this one right now. So the starter for the Pirates will be Miguel Yaure. I don't know how to spell him. So yeah, he already started one game. It didn't really go well against Detroit. He gave up 2 homers, 4 earned runs in just 4 innings. He haven't pitched in a live game, not just in the majors, but in the minors either in 3 weeks. I would expect him to go like 3-4ish innings. We will see. But it's obviously a huge downgrade. Ty Anderson is coming off an 8-inning outing against the Cubs. He went over 100 pitches, 6 Ks. This was really a solid outing, and Ty Anderson has been pitching well. So him and Brubaker are the 2 Pittsburgh guys I kind of like, and this is a huge downgrade from him, and this current price is still not correct based on the pitching change. So this is something you should bet into right now. Yeah. Gaussman for the Giants. I'm completely fine with backing the guy. Coming off a 6-inning outing, 7 Ks against the Cubs. He has a sub-2 ERA, although he's due for some regression, but swinging strike rate above 14%, only 30% hard contact allowed. I really like everything I see from him, and he's really a legit ace, and the Pirates are not a scary offense. So yeah, just take advantage of the misprice here and bet the Giants. Although someone is begging the Pirates, I'm not sure about that. You can grab -148 on Pinnacle right now. All right, next game, New York Yankees at the Baltimore Orioles. Corey Kluber, Dean Kremer. Kluber is finally starting to pitch a bit better. I think that kind of shows in the price, and early money has been coming in on the Yankees here. My line here is minus 174, and that was basically the market line, and it moved more than 10 cents in the last few hours towards the Yankees. Kluber still running with an 11% walk rate. Um, but besides that, I mean, over a 13% swinging strike rate, 47% ground ball rate, no hard contact, pretty high infield pop up rate. And he gets tons of swings and misses outside of the zone, which is something we want to see. I think he's fine and he should roll here. Creamer for Baltimore. Uh, there are some red flags here. 80% plus contact rate, velocity down a bit. He gives up 32% line drive rate against lefties, 23 against righties, but he has average swing and miss stuff. Really limiting hard contact, has a 20% infield pop-up rate, which is nice, but I think the Yankees should roll here, really, and I'm kind of believing in Kluber right now, but this is perfectly reflected in this price. LA Angels at the Boston Red Sox, Canning at Pivetta. This could be an interesting game. He's off the board. I think we will see Boston open up as a slight favorite. My line is Boston minus 113. I think if the Angels are bigger dogs than say plus 115, that's an interesting wager. Canning, I think, is okay. He doesn't go super deep into games, a bit more walks than I would like, and some line drives, but he has a 15% swinging strike rate, only gives up 20% hard contact, 67% contact rate. So yeah, I'm buying him kinda. And Pivetta on the other side, he got very lucky, 244 betting average on balls in play, just a 6% home run to fly ball ratio, 22% plus line drive rates against both sides. His velocity is way up, but he really has no control, and that's why you see the 15% walk rate. He stayed off the barrel so far, but I'm not really trusting him. So yeah, I think the Angels obviously are a bit worse offense, especially with Rendon out. But I could see Canning make this work, and I'm leaning towards the Angels. At plus 120 would be a wager for sure, probably plus 115. A smaller one also, but this is an interesting game, and I think this is a line you should follow once they open it up. Cubs at the Tigers. Arrieta at Tariq Skubal. Tariq Skubal is bad, like really bad. 27 innings, 5+ Sierra, 13% walk rate, fly ball rate at almost 60%, super hard contact. His WOBA is 440 against righties, and his FIP is 9.7. So yeah, Cubs should feast here. They aren't a great offense, but I mean, anyone can feast against Tariq, and this bullpen is bad. But I'm not going to lay minus 140 on the road with Jake Arrieta. You know that I'm really low on these old Cubs guys. Arrieta, Hendricks, Lester, who were pretty good back in the day when the Cubs were making that run. But I mean, Arrieta only with an 8% swinging strike rate, 81% contact rate. Just so many things I don't like in this profile. He's still getting by, but barely. Tigers are a bad offense, 88 WRC plus, 28% K rate against righties, no power. He may work. Arrieta could work here, but I'm not going to find out. And I think this line is completely fair. I doubt we see any money on Detroit, but if we do, I mean, I might be forced to back Jake Arrieta on the road, laying minus 135. New York Mets at the Tampa Bay Rays. I just looked at this line. I was kind of skipping this game when I was doing my breakdowns early in the morning, and I'm leaning towards the Mets here at plus 140. That's the current line on BetCris. Pinnacle is already leaning towards the Mets a bit, so most books are following them, but this was around minus 160, and we see some Mets money, and I kind of understand it. The Rays offense is just ugly. And I mean, the Mets, they should finally start hitting. I mean, I know that the underlying numbers aren't really good for the offense so far, but if you look at the lineup and the talent there, I mean, And Peterson isn't terrible. He's very inconsistent, but almost a 55% ground ball rate, 12% swinging strike rate. He's missing bats, striking guys out. I think it's really dog or pass, and I hate betting against Glass now. I cannot back the under here either. I mean, 6.5 total, that's something we are staying away from. But it's really more about just the Rays as a team being this big of a favorite. And I know Glass now is crazy, almost a 40% K rate, but I make this like minus 130 Tampa Bay. So minus 140 is a pretty nice edge, in my opinion. We will see if I go in. I haven't bet this game yet, but marked it. This could become a bet, but I would definitely lean towards the Mets. And I'm kind of a sucker for Peterson, and I think he's all right. He's just inconsistent, but any pitcher can blow up, and I think he will eventually figure it out. Philly at Toronto, Vince Velasquez, Steven Matz. I agree with the line. I'm 5 cents off market. Mets got hit around against Houston in his last outing, but this is a way easier matchup. Philly is really bad right now. 315 T-Max FOBA, and overall, I just don't see where the offense will come from. Matt's league average swinging strike rate, 45% ground ball rate, but only 26% hard contact. Overall, he's a good arm. I don't have any problem with him. Vince Velasquez, I mean, quietly, 4 straight starts with 3 earned runs or less. His swinging strike rate up to 12%, 48% ground ball rate, 29% hard hit rate. He's not a guy I will suddenly start to back. I have been fading Vince Velasquez for years, but he's looking better than ever. That's, in my opinion, that's a fact. One note, the total is 10.5 here. It will be super hot, 80 plus Fahrenheit, 14 mile per hour wind blowing out. Small park also. We could see some offense here, although I could see either pitcher performing well here. So I think the under, I mean, it's super risky, but that would be my lean. I haven't bet it. Obviously, you cannot bet unders in these type of weathers, and both guys, in my opinion, have questions. I think Toronto is the rightful favorite, but this is again one pretty interesting game. And the next game is also a good one off the board. Atlanta at Milwaukee, Smiley at Hauser. This is off the board because of Acuna's injury. He will be reevaluated today. We will see if he plays or not, but this will be a closely lined game. I would make Milwaukee around minus 115-ish. I think Hauser is all right. 3.4 Sierra, 3.4 ERA, 3.6 Sierra. His swinging strike rate is only 7.5%, but he has a 61% ground ball rate. I don't really like these type of pitchers, like pitch to contact guys, and but really this is what Milwaukee is doing, and it's kind of working out for them. So yeah, he's giving up just 33% hard contact Hauser. 15% line drive rate, as I said, super high ground ball rate. And on the other end, the Brewers' offense, they have been a top 3 offense against lefties so far, and Smiley is a lefty. And the interesting profile with the Brewers is they are striking out at a really high clip. But they have an 11% walk rate and a 177 ISO against lefties. And Smiley is not a strikeout guy, but he has walk problems. So I think the matchup is really good for them. Smiley coming off a 6-inning outing, 4 Ks, 4 hits, 4 walks, no earned at Washington. His velocity is down from last season. His Sierra is over 5, has a 10% walk rate, as I said, 50% plus fly ball rate, and the 7 plus FIP against both sides of the plate. So yeah, overall, I think Milwaukee is a bad offense, but I think they kind of match up well against Smiley, and I really don't trust Smiley. So this could be a Milwaukee bet for me. We will see where this opens. I think we could even see like Milwaukee minus 120, which could be like outrageous. But if Acuna is out, I think that's a fair-ish line. But I would, in no matter what the line is, I wouldn't touch Atlanta here. Houston at Texas. Texas at Houston. We will skip this one. Greinke laying over minus 200. I said that I have problems in Greinke. I'm seeing the regression. He's mostly making this work. Texas is a weak offense. This Benjamin guy, he has like 2 innings in the MLB this season. Not too relevant, but again, minus 200 with Greinke is not something I want to get involved with. KC at the White Sox. This is the game of the doubleheader, so we are going to skip this one as well. I'm not betting doubleheaders, and you shouldn't either. Oakland and Minnesota. This is an interesting game. Frankie Montas, Matt Shoemaker. I like the under here. I think both guys are okay. We have, I think there are multiple reasons why this total is pretty high. First, if you look at Shoemaker, he has a 6.4 ERA. Sierra is only 5.1. That's not good either, but he has an 11% swinging strike rate, and he's getting really nice swings outside of the zone, but his K rate is only 15% so far. So I think his K rate will go up. He only allows 28% hard hit rate, 14% infield pop-up rate, and he's very strong against righties. Just a 16% line drive rate, 49% ground ball rate, 18% hard hit rate against righties, 300 WOBA. Oakland doesn't really have too many lefties. That scares me. And at least we will see like 5-6 righties in the lineup. I think Shoemaker is able to handle those guys, I tell you that. And he has been pitching very well at home. His worst outings came on the road. This is not a terrible park to pitch in. So I think Shoemaker will be all right. The other end, I mean, Montas is the better pitcher. But I think that the other side is still a bit more risky. I'm always saying I'm expecting tons of positive regression from the Minnesota offense. But Montas is a guy I like. 12.5% swinging strike rate, Sierra at 4, just 29% hard hit rate. He doesn't walk anyone. Velocity on the fastball over 96 miles per hour. He got super unlucky so far. 320 batting average on balls in play, 16% home run to fly ball ratio. But he has been so far pretty good on the road. Minnesota still not hitting as I would expect and as I would like. And as I said, it's risky as they can just turn it on any day. But to me, this opener at 9, I think that's a really high total. And I think Shoemaker is not that bad. Obviously, the total is high because of him. Montas is a road favorite here, so they are giving him some respect. But yeah, I think slight value Minnesota. I will start backing them as home dogs, as they shouldn't be home dogs, and they have been a few times in the last couple of days. And I think the market is not respecting them enough. But the under is the best bet here. Under 9 minus 120, that's completely fine by me. You can bet 8.5. I think this should be again an 8 due to the over or an 8.5 due to the under, but there is still pretty nice value here. Cincinnati at Colorado, Wade Miley, Marquez. This is another spot where I'm backing Cincinnati, and we started seeing Cincinnati money across the board. They were dogs a few hours ago. I think that's kind of wrong. Marquez is a big no-no for me. He has been pitching okay on the road. He's coming off a nice outing against the Cardinals, but that was in St. Louis and a really righty-heavy lineup, and the Reds are a super lefty-heavy lineup. And he has problems against lefties, only a 6% K-minus walk ratio, 38% hard contact. He's also walking tons of guys, 13% walk rate, velocity down 1 mile per hour. I think this is not the spot and not the lineup he should roll against. And Miley, backing his repertoire is a bit risky at Coors Field, and he got lucky so far. 160 batting average on balls in play, 83% left on base rate, but he's pitching well. Almost a 60% ground ball rate, just 20% hard contact, not walking anyone. This is basically how you can kill this Colorado lineup. And Colorado is is just bad. They have a minus 31 run differential, but a minus 50 base run differential. They are going to get even worse. Just an 86 WRC plus against lefties. So yeah, obviously, if if so, this is not a lock by any means, but we got plus money on Cincinnati, and I would make them around minus 115. So the line is getting there on like BetCris, but I think there is still value betting it on Pinnacle. And I just believe in Miley way more, but it's more like I believe in the Cincinnati offense much more than Colorado's. And yeah, and I'm selling Cincinnati as a team overall, but I mean Colorado is just so bad. This is truly a bottom team, and yeah, they shouldn't be favored against almost anyone. Washington Nationals, Arizona Diamondbacks, Max Scherzer. Max is just rolling this year. 2.5 Sierra, 25% K rate, 16% swinging strike rate, only 4% walk rate, 67% contact rate. Yeah, he's due for some regression, but he's really one of the best guys, and he's a bit overpriced here, but I wouldn't be fading him. And Riley Smith is 5.5 Sierra, 6% swinging strike rate, 86% contact rate. Just skip this game. Miami at the LA Dodgers, Alcantara at Kershaw. Kershaw laying minus 200, more than minus 200. I kind of understand it. Sandy is coming off a nice outing, 6 innings, 7 innings, 6 Ks, went over 100 pitches, only gave up 1 earned runs against Milwaukee, but this is like a huge step up from that when it comes to opponent quality. And the total is really juiced to the under 7, so basically a 6.5. I'm not going to get involved with the 6.5s. I don't like to bet unders with an offense in the game like the Dodgers, and the Sandy's facing a huge step up. So yeah, I'm skipping this game as well. St. Louis Cardinals, San Diego Padres, Musgrove, Oviedo. Oviedo is kind of interesting. He pitched 13 innings so far, but he has a 17% swinging strike rate, only giving up 27% hard contact and a 63% contact rate overall. So yeah, he's the type of arm I'm liking. Yeah, against the Padres, it's risky, but they don't have Tatis, Hosmer, Myers likely. Um, Obviously, you want to wait for the lineups before fading the Padres. We could see these guys back, but I think they will be out. Musgrove coming off a bad outing again. This was his second in a row. He gave up 4 earned runs in just 5 innings at San Francisco. Season long numbers are still looking fine. I think he will figure it out, but I don't want to lay minus 170 with a guy whose run support will be weaker than usual and who is coming off 2 pretty bad outings. And the Cardinals aren't a great offense, but they are like okay. And I think Oviedo could maybe hang with Musgrove, even if Musgrove was pitching okay. So kind of a dog or pass in my opinion, but I'm just skipping this game. Cleveland at Seattle, Civali Flexen. Why is Cleveland so overlooked? We did bet Cleveland last night. They won. I think this is a worse deal than we got last night with Plazak. Plazak is way more of like a good ace material, and Civali is just really average guy. But I mean, Seattle is just so bad, and we are getting almost the pick. I'm always really tempted to bet just any team this cheap against the Mariners. Flexen, really nice upside, but really has no floor in my opinion. 4.5 Sierra, only a 16% K rate, 8% swinging strike rate, 84% contact rate. Has some ground ball stuff, 47% ground ball rate, but I mean, this is a guy that could blow up any minute. Cleveland is not a good offense, but they are still not like Mariners bad. So yeah, I'm also monitoring this game now. If this gets down to like 110, I will be in. I just don't care. I mean, Cleveland is better. Their pitching is better overall. Not just starting pitching, but bullpen as well. Their offense is better. I mean, We are seeing the Mariners getting bet, and they got bet yesterday, and they got bet today already. I'm not sure who is doing that and why, but I'm not going to get involved there. All right, let's sum everything up as we always do. So first game, Giants. I think this is still not the right price. Current worst price on the board I can see is minus 150 with Gossman. Remember, Ty Anderson won't be pitching here. I think minus 150 is still a nice grab. LA Angels. I'm looking at the Angels. I wouldn't bet the Red Sox here. I talked about me expecting some regression from them. They face a super easy schedule. Pivetta is really bad. I don't like the guy. I would need a plus 115 at least, but would love a plus 120 with Griffin Canning on the mound. I'm looking at the Mets. I haven't bet this yet, but plus 140 would qualify as a bet for me right now. This might become a bet. I will be looking more into this game once we wrap this one up. Milwaukee, I'm expecting Hauser to open up as a favorite. We will see if Acuna plays or not, but I'm expecting Milwaukee around minus 115 to minus 120. If we get a better deal, even if Acuna is in, I will be looking at Milwaukee. I really like Hauser. I think the Milwaukee bats are lining up really well against Smiley, and Smiley is really suspect in my opinion. And I'm very low on the Milwaukee offense overall, but this is a guy I think anyone can hit. Oakland, Minnesota. I'm betting the under. I would bet the under 9 minus 120 if you have that. If you have under 8 around even money, that's also nice. You can get plus money in my opinion on that as at a few shops. So yeah, and Wade Miley, Cincinnati Reds at Colorado. I think they should be road favorites. Minus 112 is close to my line, but you can see lines closer to a pick'em, and I would be fine taking that. And I'm monitoring the Cleveland game. I think if this gets down to 110, I will be backing Cleveland again. I'm just fading the Mariners because that's what I do. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. No stream on the weekends. I will be back on Monday, and we are breaking down some NBA playoff play-in action. We will see what's going on there. If you want to tell my plays, you can go to patreon.com/thebettors and join the Discord channel. Please throw a like on the video or the podcast and subscribe. It helps a ton. Good luck with your wagers through the weekend.